go back to something that is just comfort. We've seen them go to this Renekton the most, 6 times Ziv's most played. They first picked it quite a bit, and it's also setting up for that aggressive top side. And I was going to say maybe an AP jungler, but the only AP jungler that comes to mind is the Karthus.
Yeah, because look, 3 direct jungle bans. Haro is the life of this team, and someone we've talked about game after game for Rogue Warriors. Hasn't had the greatest split, but again, Haro always has to be feared as that carry potential. So you get rid of the dynamic duo. We'll see what Renekton gets paired up with, because I just want to also point out, Taliyah, Haro has played before, and Taliyah works very well in this duo lyric.
Oh, I think that'd be too hard against the Udyr.
Would it?
You know, hitting your abilities, has all that movement speed, gonna lock you down, gonna look for those solo kills. I also think the Karthus would be quite hard. All soon you have to do is draft some other priority lanes and then start going into jungle and bullying him. I think an interesting pick that we won't see would be if Rogue Warriors did what TT did, and they're just like, hey, let's bring out the Sejuani. Let's have melee melee solo lane plus Sejuani look for those ganks. Udyr really can't do anything to you. You can always run away from him when he invades your jungle and look for a situation like that. But Haro is showing off his AP champions.
Oh, man. I love that you straight away brought it. Oh, my God. Right. We were both on the money, right? Taliyah in the end. Anyway, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this was a champion that, honestly, when we came into 2020 spring, was my favorite champion to watch him play. It was so fun to see him go for these level 3 bot dives with the rest of his team. But again, I don't know how... I can't imagine it doing too well up against Udyr pick. If they can draft more strong lanes, then potentially you're fine. We know he's going to play heavily for topside, for Renekton point-click stun into the Taliyah combo. If Suning do lock in this Gnar, if he's in mini form, he will just 100% be dead. So it'll be up to SofM a lot to counteract this aggression, guard that topside, set up defensive vision, and make sure that Bin can play the game.
Bin's been the focus of our segment starting this one off, ladies and gentlemen, so let's see how he pairs on the weaker part of the map. Can absorb the pressure, locked in the end, and now a lot of time when we see this, when we trade sides of the map, I'll be curious to see what we get in that bottom lane, whether that Tristana is a flex or it actually runs down to Huanfeng.
Now I want to see what Suning ban, like if they do ban 80 carries and say, hey, we'll take away the Samira pick because that's something Betty has gone back to consistently. Then you're left in a weird position of, okay, like what does Betty go towards? I guess Zaya is also still available. Instead, they're going to ban again those counter picks, again, using that term very loosely, that we see LPL teams bring out, but just never work.
When you're 1-11, when you're already knocked out of playoffs, you expect them to be running things, you know, like I guess Taliyah Renekton. So
actually, you're right. Taliyah makes perfect sense when you put it that way, because, right? Well, I mean, again, you can try and go for maybe the strategy that has the least holes and least flaws. If you're still in and you're afraid of being eliminated, you have to play it safe. And it's like, hey, Rogue Warriors can just start searching for an identity, can start playing champions they're good on, and you know, sure, it might be a bit volatile, but at this point, again, you're already out, so just try and get on the best champions for you.
Also makes it more entertaining for our audience if Rogue Warriors are throwing haymakers, see if Suning have a big enough shield to block them, as they're getting supports banned against them for now, something that would pair nicely with Tristana, also against the Alistar that's already been drafted. Now here for Suning lyric, what do you think? Solo lane counterpick, or do you leave support for last?
I think you go support now. The Leona's still open. The other thing that would come to my mind is the Galio as well. Has been something that On would play, and it guarantees you bot lane prio, passive, plus Winds of War we've talked about many times. And then you have another defensive tool towards your top side of the map with that global, but instead, they go towards the Rakan.
Okay. So maybe matching the roaming of Kaixuan. Kaixuan has been roaming in a lot of these games towards the mid lane, adding a lot of pressure from forward.
So the way this works, right, is that Rakan will have pressure at level 1. You have ranged ability throwing out with your Q. You have an easy way of getting away from Alistar once he lands a combo on you, because you can, you know, get away with the second charge of your E or your W, or there's like tons of options to get away from Alistar. But at the same time, we've seen Rakan this split is just so squishy. I feel like you go into these team fights, you get locked down, and it just feels so hard to play the game.
Yeah, you're in and out, and you're probably dead on the way out, so... we'll see what the last pick is here, though, for Rogue Warriors on the other side. I think it's important to note that we've got a Taliyah Renekton top side, and it feels like you want to influence that. So is this another ability to influence? You're going to have a lot of AP damage, relying on the Ezreal, with, of course, mix, but primarily AD.
Oh, I definitely like it if they do lock it in. Again, you're just all-in on the top side of your map. Why not do it? It doesn't have too many bad matchups in the mid lane right now. I feel like the thing that I don't like against the most is the Azir, just because of how strong Azir is overall. I think he does fine against the Orianna. You can try to just be like, hey, we'll just match with another global, pick the Sylas, which they are hovering and does pretty well in the laning phase once it does get to that level 3 mark. But I think what Rogue Warriors have put together is really fun, and it's very clear to see what the identity is.
A lot of globals in that comp there, Lyric, Ezreal included, so... I'm excited to watch Rogue Warriors come into this. You then get the Orianna, so pretty stable composition. Our chat might call it boring, but let's be honest, Suning are trying to make it to playoffs, and it's a composition we've seen before. And let's see how they manage keeping this top lane alive going forward.
Yeah, for the side of Rogue Warriors, again, very straightforward. They're playing a bit of a pick comp. They do have the ability to snowball early through top side, get a big advantage. And then once we get to the mid and late game, I have questions about Suning's comp for Engage because, again, they have a 5v5 teamfight composition, but they don't have really, like, amazing Engage just running forward at Rogue Warriors. I think Rakan much prefers to come off on a flank. If you do just go straight into their comp, I'd be afraid of getting bursted out by the Ezreal, the Twisted Fate, the Taliyah. Udyr can try to run them down, and I expect that's what the go-to play would be, but you need a bit of outplay potential, in my mind, coming from Bin and on.
Because I also think it's hard when you have a lot of range coming from Rogue Warriors, right? We're talking late game where Ezreal, Taliyah, you know, Renekton can build space for a lot of these high damage people, or at least, especially for the Ezreal's case, towards the late game.
Yes, and the thing is, Suning's damage definitely outscales Rogue Warriors. Their front line is better, but that's what we're talking about, right? The formations, the way the comps play out, there actually is a world where if Rogue Warriors play correctly, they actually can go toe-to-toe in the late game and try to punish some of Suning's mistakes. Because we've seen Suning aren't a team that is flawless yet. They do make mistakes you can punish. Especially on, and he's on one of the most volatile champions in their composition.
He's definitely on it, yeah. Well, Suning going into game 1, still trying to fight for playoffs, folks. Remember, their schedule, one of the easier ones, so this is a must-win here for them to make it towards playoffs. As we get onto Summoner's Rift for our second series of the night. Rogue Warriors, they're out. But, man, this composition screams 2020 RW. Screams the team we just gave a eulogy for. Maybe what's dead will never die. Dude, I just had to do it.
That was a pretty edgy statement, and I liked it.
Guys.
What a cute lion.
Now, the coolest thing as we hear the JOs just end is that I was noticing in the crowd, we've got the Suning masks, and it was something as well that I think is really cool. Teams doing branded masks. I think G2 also doing it. It's actually really nice. It's Forge. Ooh. Oh no, it's an Udyr, and Udyr has flash. Is SofM going to commit for this? Forge getting out, Angel moving in, and laning phase is about to begin, so buckle up.
Yeah, and I definitely think this is a bigger win for Suning than it is for Rogue Warriors, because now we're seeing a lot of those pots have to come through. 2 corrupting potions already used by Forge just to try and get back up to full HP, to where, you know, SofM's in the jungle. He's going to be able to clear up through Smite, through his jungle item. Well, I guess not jungle item anymore, right? But through his Smite. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Rogue Warriors can adapt to this now loss of pressure in the mid lane. Than, you know, Suning, who lost nothing.
Yeah, SofM clearing from bottom to top as well, so Forge always a threat here of getting an early burn flash. So
I guess just because it's a disposable item now, it still counts as an item. I don't know what I'm saying.
That's okay. Hey, it's all right. We had an explosive first match where we just kind of watched V5 lay down and die. I know I'm being harsh, but I don't care.
It's true.
This is a second series where we've got a very different dynamic coming through. We've got a fun comp in game 1. And we've got Haro, who has actually skirted around Vision from what I could see. Not sure if he's spotted by Raptor Ward, but now going towards the top side and going straight towards his blue.
I mean, to be fair, though, right? They still know where he's going to go. They
see Raptors up.
Yep, they know that he started on his bot side camps, and they should know he's going up towards that top side. I guess there was no leash given to him, so... Wait, actually, there was a leash, I'm sorry. But, yeah, point is, they should know he's on the top side of the map, moving over to what these comps should be wanting to do early on. For Rogue Warriors, we want to see Haro look for a topside gank after clearing out this jungle. For SofM, it's about hovering towards the top side, waiting for that counter gank, putting down Vision, which we already see Bin does have a ward. And then I think you can just play for a potential double scuttle opportunity, because we see that Forge was punished mid early on. He has to look for the TP right now. I expect him to do that. And then you could probably cross through mid lane and look for that bottom side scuttle as well.
Let me ask you an obvious question. If the early game doesn't enable Ziv and Haro can't get to the top side, is it just really hard to transition as Rogue Warriors?
I definitely think so. You can try to play around bot, right? You have the lockdown coming out from the Alistar, and even the gold card can set up the Taliyah combo, but you have cleanse on Huanfeng. You have, again, a Rakan who very slippery, very mobile, very easy for him to get away. So despite the fact that it is doable, I definitely don't think it's optimal.
We'll be watching Haro closer then. If it's not optimal, you want to see Haro.
Hysterics.
Yeah, there you go. Haro coming in though. Can he get the steal? Smite down, and now SofM on the chase. And you talked about this, Taliyah versus Udyr. How do you survive Flash Burn? And you know what? When you named the prediction so well, it comes into fruition. As engaged at the bottom lane, Betty doesn't burn his summoners, but Kaixuan does. And Suning with a lead.
Yeah, and I feel like your only hope early on is like he walks into a full combo while you're like playing in Fog of War, and then Udyr will probably have to disengage, but Taliyah still wouldn't be able to follow up and kill him in that scenario either. And then once he starts getting his items, right, because he opts into early magic resist with his Turbo Chem tank, Haro won't be able to do anything to SofM, and SofM will always be able to run him down, always. Lucidity
Boots coming forward. This is exciting to watch this early game. Haro in a bit of jeopardy. Both summoners down for the junglers. Flash is what I'm talking about there. And ladies and gentlemen, we understand there's an issue with the overlay. We'll try and get that fixed. Rogue Warriors are not 6-5 for a bit of context, and Suning are the team with that scoreline. So you can understand that a little bit closer. But here in this early game, I mean, top lane with the 10 CS lead. SofM now with more than a 10 CS lead in the jungle. Mid, because of what happened, Angel's in a great position as the Orianna, and bottom lane is even. So across the map right now, Suning leading by 1,000 gold at 5 minutes in the game.
And again, pretty expected outcome coming in just team-wise, but we saw Rogue Warriors go with a bit more of a confidence draft. Haven't really been able to pull it out. We have seen Suning punish accordingly. We can still wait for that level 6 mark, the Destiny to come out from the Twisted Fate. Potentially a play can come about that, or you can try to punish SofM if he looks to abuse his jungle advantage and invade onto Haro, but look at the level discrepancy right now. Haro sitting on 4, SofM already level 6.
I mean, Udyr's clear is still unmatched at this point, right? With Phoenix, he's level 6, and oh, it's interrupted on is a cheeky man. Kaixuan level 3 didn't want to be anywhere near the Udyr, who SofM's doing what we saw at Worlds, what we saw last year. He's starting to invade and take everything. Look at the vision control set up by Suning to enable this as well.
Yeah, and they're trying to answer on the top side. I think this is the right play. You're falling so far behind in the jungle. There's no camps up on the enemy top side.
Depends. Can the burst come through? Hop over the seismic shove, and there you go. That's Taliyah done against a very mobile top laner.
And that was... the timing just wasn't right? We see the stun come out from Ziv. It's not set up with the seismic shove. That's a combo you should be hitting 10 out of 10 times. And, you know, I don't want to project, but maybe some signs of early tilt on the side of Rogue Warriors.
Okay, all right, fair enough. You know, we have seen like the likes of that before. I think Rogue Warriors is split. Yeah.
This game probably feels very hard for Haro already after the early game that he's had.
It does. Good trading in the bottom lane. On actually takes the brunt of it here from Betty and Kaixuan, but Huanfeng always powering back now with the pickaxe versus the tier, so damage advantage if AD carries. And let's try this one again. Bin still has flash. He's in Mega for now.
So, Hysterics, the reason they're going for this is that they invaded the Suning topside jungle, and SofM had already farmed all of his camps, so he could get nothing. He has nothing to do with this time right now.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Betty actually almost level 6. I'm looking at the bar. A couple of minions needed for him to true shot barrage. They're going to try and hit these minions pretty damn quick. Wait for a couple. Betty close to 6. Just hit the minion, brother. Okay, now launch it down because they're backing, but I think maybe a little bit too late in hindsight.
Ooh, but I mean, that was nice by SofM, right? Comes in, tries to scare them off, delay them from getting that level 6.
True.
Just posture a little bit so his bot lane can back accordingly. So, very nice response coming out from Suning. Mid lane still being a farm fest. Rogue Warriors haven't had any opportunities to use this Twisted Fate, and Haro has been set so massively behind. Again, I don't think it can be overstated that now if he wants to get back in the game, Rogue Warriors would have to start being able to play for him, but your top lane's getting pushed in, your bot lane's getting pushed in, you don't have prio in mid right now either, because since your side lanes are losing, they are playing in Fog of War, and Forge has to play under turret.
Oh, and he doesn't do this quick enough. I mean, SofM probably not expecting this at the very least. He's going straight to Raptors, or might not care all the same. Haro does get 6. Now Weaver's Wall is available. So we'll see if he gets anything out of this tool he's just acquired.
Ooh, he's going to walk right into SofM, though, and he does not win this duel.
Oh, no. Well, that was the expected outcome. And meanwhile, support roaming. Kaixuan forced a flash in the mid lane thanks to the shockwave from Angel.
I mean, this is just a massive team diff right now on the map. 2,000 gold lead for Suning. 8 minutes, I'm sorry, into the game.
Okay.
Ziv threatening for the blue buff. But nothing he
It's
can
actually
do.
called Diffy and the Riffy, or Riffy Diff, is what we've coined it as. So it does feel like a Riffy Diff here today. And, you know, we're going to have viewers there. There's no LCK on. They're coming to the LPL because they know it's a better region. They are seeing a huge Riffy Diff between Suning and Rogue Warriors, and it's sad to see. You mentioned the interaction so well between Udyr and Taliyah. Why this was a dangerous pick. And if you don't have vision control, if you're not in the brush first to spot out the Udyr, chances are you're running into a trap.
Hysterics, first of all regions are created equal. There is no better or worse here. We respect our other major region brethren. Second of all, tough game for Taliyah to play. Again, I think Haro is just throwing his hands up in the air right now because he couldn't go to his bot side quadrant a few minutes ago because SofM had set up deep vision there. They knew he was there. We saw the hovers coming in from Suning's bot side. He'd farmed his jungle twice, nothing for Haro to pick up there, and he was pretty much just left at 3 camps. He could just cycle through his Gromp, his blue buff, and his wolves continuously. Obviously, your blue buff doesn't cycle that often. He's only getting 2 camps consistently. He's now sitting 30 CS down. All of his lanes are losing in terms of pressure. For Rogue Warriors, we need to see a big cheese. We need to see some massive cheese play coming out where you just say, okay, we're giving up top lane, we're giving up mid, we're all going to base, we're all running straight to bot. And we are just going to throw everything at killing Huanfeng and on. And sure, we're going to lose more in the process, but at least we're not going to slowly bleed out.
At least something's rolling.
Yeah, right. You're putting Suning into an awkward position where they could create mistakes. They shouldn't still. They should just be able to discern, hey, we'll just push out top and mid and get more resources on the map. But, you know, these kinds of, like, tricky mind games can throw teams off.
I love that's what it's come to at 10 minutes in the game for Rogue Warriors. 2,500 gold down. And just a reminder as well, we still have yet to see Forge ulti. Another part of the tool for the top lane of Rogue Warriors was utilizing the Twisted Fate in case Suning have a response. If you want to see that used to the bottom lane, still relies on someone like Forge to capitalize, but he's constantly being pushed up. The wave set up early on, thanks to the trade onto Forge at level 1, feels like it's hurt a Rogue Warriors all game long. And that's a true shot barrage in the meanwhile. Down in the bottom lane, Haro has the Weaver's Wall. Can they get over it? Yes, they can. And Buster Shot says goodbye, Haro. Here comes SofM.
And I definitely think Suning should be able to do quite well if a 3v3 breaks out. SofM's really strong right now.
Oh no! Haro, he has flash. He's going to have to use it. He burst it out with Phoenix, and they're going to go onto the Udyr, but honestly, he's got chem take. He just came back. I think Udyr right now can 1v2 easily. Over the wall, the gap closed there. Forge finally ults, and this could be part of the cheese, but I feel like it's a response. Rogue Warriors survive, but man, it's too easy for Suning to go forward.
Right now, SofM is just too big. Compare that he is Turbo Chem Tank and Lucidity Boots to Haro's Lost Chapter and Amplifying Tome and Dark Seal, right? So Haro not able to do anything. We also saw how easy it is for Udyr to just sidestep the seismic shove. Nothing he's able to do. But we also did see elements of how RW's 2v2 is pretty potent. This is what we were talking about with the Rakan. You look for the engage, the Pulverize comes out from Kaixuan, and I mean, you aren't very tanky as a Rakan. Alistar can take a lot of punishment. They forced Suning's bot lane back. It wasn't until SofM came to save the day that really turned into Suning's favor.
Yeah, it's something where I think Betty and Kaixuan need to be commended for probably playing the best in this game. Then again, though, it has been a quiet 2v2 apart from that play, where Betty and Kaixuan have been flexing a little bit here, but still in this game, you know, talking about the best moments of RW, we're going to come back to Suning because they're putting the Herald down in the mid lane. Dragon was just taken as well. There's 2 Dragons 12 minutes in. Angel's about to get so much turret plating. And yet again, he's put into a position of power. 20 CS up in this matchup, and Herald has done pretty fine work as she joins Rogue Warriors in the pool of death.
Let's remember that SofM is the one who put the mid lane in this position, right?
That's true.
He traded with Forge level 1. Forge had to use 2 corrupting potion stacks, and then Angel has a massive resource advantage where he's able to dictate this lane any way that he wants.
Right, it's important to note that SofM has been dictating the map. Again, another point we talked about was Bin and SofM are the players playing up to the table, and This game, it has solely been, okay, specifically been SofM starting this game off. As nice stun from Bin. He's just getting the trade into the wall against Ziv. Again, still trying to push this turret. And I'm looking across the board here, Lyric. I'm not sure what turret plating is on the bottom lane, but Suning, it's 2. Wow. Suning are close to battering down all 3 outer turrets. Plating will go down in 30 seconds, but it's still an achievement to show how dominant they've been in the lanes.
Okay, Hysterics, so this is where we swap it up, and I ask you, what do you want to see out of Rogue Warriors, Hysterics?
Double down, commit everything to top, even if you int at the turret, do it again and again until it's 20 minutes in the game. I don't care. I don't care what's happening. Just keep going top lane and Forge. You know, the problem is he's going to have to flash away. SofM is level 10. Haro respecting him over the wall. Forge does get the blue buff, but he is out of there. And because of that, it feels like they lose mid too.
They're going to lose mid. Forge is going to have to back, so he's going to lose minions to turret as well. They are rotating Betty over, so he will be able to pick those ones up. And remember at Worlds when SofM did this, where he just kept canceling backs over and over again.
Yeah.
Such an annoyance.
I think annoyance, nuisance of a jungler. That's what he is, right? He goes in, takes your camps. He has a favoritism for chicken. That's probably how we started with the KFC promo in the LPL. But at the very least, we've got SofM who takes all of your camps, be's an absolute pain. And the Chilling Smite there delays Forge. He's now back onto the Rift. But as he comes back on, I feel like you're going to lose the turret down the bottom lane before you can get there. Unless you commit Destiny and Weaver's Wall. Can you kill Huanfeng? Is a real question. He doesn't have his mythic yet, but still a Tristana, pretty strong. And picks up solo turret gold.
They would have to burst him out instantly. Like, it would have to be like gold card, seismic shove, combo pretty much instantly for him to not just like cleanse, rocket jump, or flash away and be able to close that distance.
Well, he gets away safely in the end. There's going to be a mythic there as he backs away too. Meanwhile, we come back to the top side of the map, and SofM is doing another objective, of course, after top turret goes down. And just note the gold. 5,000, 15 minutes in the game. Those outers going down just balloon it even further.
Hysterics, we haven't really done this much this split. I feel like last year, when a game looked like this, we would just say this. This is done and dusted. We gotta be honest. For Suning to lose this game, they would need to run in one by one by one, like right before a Baron and then a Soul, and then run in one and one again. Like, it would take so many mistakes coming out for Suning for them to lose this game that, no, it's looking pretty sold.
Isn't it strange that I was the one who always just called games over when it was a lead like this as well? I kind of pulled back because I felt like, I don't know, for the audience to sit here and go, why should I watch this game? Sometimes you want to see it competitive, but to be fair, you're going to say.
To be fair, this season, right, we have a lot more Tristana, Kaisa, Azir. Like there's always that realm of imagination where, hey, you know, maybe if they do mess up once, you at least have the scaling element. Look at Rogue Warriors comp now. It's like, okay, they have Ezreal, but that is not enough to carry against the lead that Suning have. Like, this game is truly rough for Rogue Warriors. But
when you have Renekton, who's is he first item? I'm not sure.
No, but you know what? We still need to praise Rogue Warriors for coming in with the confidence, for coming in with the cojones to pick this composition, and you know what? Give it their best go.
Yeah, well, let's see if we curse it, right? At the very least, Rogue Warriors are setting themselves up for a pick, and you know, Suning, we have to look at Huanfeng's item as this graphic goes down. We'll note that he should have his first mythic. He does. Actually, some components of the second item as well. SofM's joined in. Now, this bear is over 50 CS ahead. And look, there's Angel's damage here. The Orianna has a bounty of 0, 0, 0, 190 CS just about at 17 minutes. Dragon says, if Rogue Warriors come into this pit, they will die.
My only hope for Rogue Warriors is for them to kill at least each member of Suning once. If they do that in my mind, this game is a success.
True. Could be a perfect game, by the way the things are looking. True Shot Barrage. Oi. Okay. Close. Ocean Soul coming up, though, at 22 minutes. There's Destiny.
I think we've seen one perfect game this split, right? I'm pretty sure it's only TT who has been perfect game.
Who was it again? Was it FPX who perfect game them, or
I can't remember who it was, but I just remember who it was playing aggressively and like diving fountain and having one death at the end, but it was still a perfect game.
And it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to perfect game when like mid's stagnant, right? When, you know, not even a turret's taken, when, you know, there's a lot of trading going on the map. People get to top and bots the trade-off.
Exactly. At the very least, you can cross-map usually. And be like, oh, hey, their jungle's top, their mid's roaming top. We'll go get something on the bottom side. But Rogue Warriors weren't able to do that this game. Again, it felt like the biggest problem was their mid lane was set behind at level 1, and their jungle was set behind at level 3. So they're already losing 2 of the core pieces of the map that are mobile and can move around to look for those advantages. And they're just really good reads by SofM. He was always playing around where Rogue Warriors can look for a play. When Haro was topside, a lot of the times SofM was in his topside jungle, or Bin was respecting while soon SofM was just stealing all of Haro's camps. So really good response coming out from Suning.
So funny that top lane was the pro for Rogue Warriors. Top lane is where, of course, Haro wanted to hit with the Renekton combo, but we saw it once and it wasn't executed well. And SofM was just always up there waiting for the second kill onto Haro as they got towards the level 6 as well. And it's been sad, you know, we kind of just gave a bit of a eulogy for Rogue Warriors. And you know what? SofM coming in, he's going to get gold carded. And when you see a bear running at you, you think, well, we're going to close the door, we're going to run away, and Forge does exactly that. Luckily, his flash was on cooldown and didn't have to burn it. Or rather, didn't get caught out because of it. So, saved in the end of the day, and oh no, the perfect game being stopped. Ziv's trying to get a turret, but man, he does not do too much at this point.
He does not. We still have these TCL banners, which, you know,
confusing.
Me and you aren't sure what they're about. And to be honest, I'm not sure if these TCL banners actually show on our English broadcast, or me and you just see these TCL banners. Who knows?
Didn't you work? You worked in at TCL for a couple of splits, or at least half a split or something, didn't you? Is that correct?
No, for 1 month.
Okay, but CB LOL. CB LOL's your second home, your heart. That's the one I'm thinking of. CB LOL. You went to LMS. Where else?
You know, I'm not as famous as, again, the Ninjas in Pajamas coach, Clement Chu. Okay. Always got to shout that out.
That was season 3, right? Season 3, season 2?
I think it was season 4 or end of season 4 going into season 5.
It was a while ago. Nice shockwave. Force out the flash yet again. Kaixuan has been using that on cooldown and just trying to find a pick while SofM is moving between Fog of War. Suning are making this real clinical. They're just moving to each lane, pushing it out, clearing out the turrets, and you know, they're just farming up. This game is going to lull for a little bit longer, at least until we get the Ocean Soul, and Rogue Warriors feel like they might have to be forced to make their last stand.
You know, this is the type of game where you want to see Angel become Knight. Even though he's no kills, buy the Medjais and just go for it.
Yeah.
As Bin goes for it in the bot lane.
Is this going to be a solo kill? Flashed away. On wasn't really needed, and Ziv now burning the Dominus, and here we go again. Suning have found yet another lane, and, you know, this get to the point where we're going to be like this until Ocean Soul, aren't we, Luke? Is that right? Are we going to be sitting here, we're going to be lolling about ourselves until what seems like Rogue Warriors' final moment?
The good thing is that Suning are consistently looking for picks. But, I mean, Rogue Warriors are just playing under their towers, right? Oh, here we go again, Hysterics. Here we go again.
Well, disengage. Arcane Shift, Headbutt. We got Seismic Shove if it lands. Unfortunately, very hard on SofM, who is literally a bullet. I don't know if we remake the fast and start talking about Udyr in this season.
You know,
the fast fall.
Oh, okay. We did get something.
Are they dead? On looking to dive, flash away immediately and dead. Kaixuan's dead. Okay, Suning don't really care, and they'll push this in and look for an inhibitor turret. Betty's poking, but SofM again takes 0 damage. Even walks into his team with the explosive shot. An inhibitor turret down 22 minutes in.
If they have a wave bot, they could even just look to try to force RW into a scrap and try to look for an aggressive end. It wouldn't be the correct play by any means, but it is a play we see quite often in the LPL, but they're going to go for the correct play. They are going to back off. Dragon's coming up in 20 seconds. You know, Hysterics, I feel like Suning kind of saved me, because let's be honest.
You tell me what you want to say. Destiny's used, Ziv's out. Now,
but I'm expecting action.
I just want... I think we all want this to burst out and explode into a Suning fight so that we can get our result that we know. Angels pushing away Kaixuan, and there you go. Go to Dragon. This is this is sad for Rogue Warriors, and I don't know. There's much more to say. Teleport being burned. All right. RW. Do they have the cojones to run into this one? Suning have their jungler at level 12. SofM coming in from the flank, running at Kaixuan. Chilling Smite there. He's waiting for the polarize. It comes up. SofM takes barely any damage, and Bin is on a flanking angle. Look at this, going into Gnar. He'll be gold carded, but meanwhile, Rogue Warriors are losing out on all angles. This was lost before it even begun, apparently, as Forge hoping for the blast cone to save him. Everyone's chasing him, while Dragon's going to be done on the other end. Goodbye, Forge. It was nice knowing you, as the turret will take him down, and Suning now on top of the Dragon.
You know, at least they realized, hey, we got at least posture for this.
X-Flash, can you get the dragon? SofM. SofM, yes, he will get the Ocean Soul. And at the end, now Betty's all that's standing. At 23 minutes in the game, it is 7-0. Suning have not lost a single member. Huanfeng is going to 1v1 this Ezreal. Sends him over the wall. Rocket jump again. Close to killing Huanfeng, but 8-0. Now with the Ocean Soul and starting up the Baron.
I respect that Rogue Warriors at least grouped up for the Dragon and stood there and, you know, like, tried to do something. They know, they realize at this point, this game is over. This game is about throwing every Hail Mary you can, flipping every coin you can, but, you know, they're still giving it their best. What I was saying before is, I thank Suning for this game because, you know, my brain was lagging a little bit the first 3 minutes. And when you have a game like this, there's nothing for your brain to lag about. Everything is very straightforward.
I hate straightforward games, you know? We're not casting anywhere else. We're casting the LPL, and this is so one-sided.
Just one QW, he's instantly gone. They just chased out Forge. Again, Rogue Warriors gave it their best shot, but what more can they do?
Okay. We're just going to watch Forge get run down. Ocean Soul, Baron picked up, rather, and Suning now will come back to live. I'm assuming going to start pushing down this map. Topside won't matter. Grouping up as 3. SofM flanking again. Destiny to get out of there. And the threat is enough for Forge to run.
So Hysterics. Oh, Suning clearly having Rogue Warriors for breakfast. What did you have for breakfast today?
Oh man, it was a day of a Vegemite on toast again. Once again. It was that kind of morning. You need that home food, and I don't have a toaster here in this Airbnb. Oh, hang on. The perfect game's going to get ruined, Lyric. Actually, a turret already went down, so it doesn't matter. Bin jumping away. He flashes as well. Now the rest of Suning are on their way. Angel ready for the shockwave. That's going to be a multi-man. At least deletes. Betty on the back end. Angel goes golden. Ziv coming in. Teleport on the back end. And Haro running for his life. Look at this. Ziv's real trying, but it was already over. Meanwhile, SofM is diving, and here comes Suning for the final push.
And they did it, Hysterics. After a long, hard-fought battle, Suning take down Rogue Warriors.
That's right. It was back and forth. We thought Rogue Warriors going to win this game. Something. Dynasty, Warriors, and Suning. Game 1. This was a smash. I've literally seen avocado smashed on toast better than this. So Rogue Warriors proving they're a 1-11 team. I'm a harsh caster. I apologize. But Suning proving they are head over tails in this series to start off.
And let's give the context of this match, the fact that Rogue Warriors already can't make playoffs. They're really playing for nothing other than like their own development, getting more stage time, maybe trying out some picks. You look at them, they don't look too heartbroken because, again, there's no tangible results to if they do beat Suning.
Yeah, that was a rough start to the game. I love the comp. I mean, props to Rogue Warriors for pulling something out that's risky to play. Especially in a meta where, you know, we're not playing too much of the early game, right? We're not playing to these comps that need to get ahead early or just fall off the wayside. Rogue Warriors,
you're not hard counter picking yourself in the jungle role.
Oh, well, yeah, that wasn't a great point. You know, giving Udyr a great time, especially since you just run around seismic shove. And yeah, this could be an under 1 hour series yet again, and goes back to the point when we're talking about like our 2-0s in the league, bottom teams struggling to keep up. And look, it is one game. It is draft that set this up when Rogue Warriors fell behind early, but all the better to see Suning just be so controlled.
They were disciplined. I mean, again, it all started from draft and then pivoted into the level 1 in mid lane, and then just great job from SofM. I love that he realized he could take double scuttle. For some reason, Haro still thought he can contest that, despite the fact that his mid lane is now really struggling. Goes for it, gets instantly wiped out by the Udyr, lost his bottom side camps. SofM goes back up top side, clears his top side camps, and now again, Haro gets back on the map, and he's like, I have Krugs and Wolves for the next, 4 minutes.
There was a ADCS difference at that point in the game. You know, SofM obviously slowed down, kept looking for picks because he didn't have to worry about level advantage or losing any of his experience, and was always ahead of the curve. It was pretty much easy from then on for SofM. And good to see him in form coming into this game. We talked a lot about Suning and what we need to see. Remember, they're the 6-5 team heading for playoffs, and they're threatened by teams like IG, teams like BLG. Also for Suning, right? If they take any of these losses that they shouldn't, teams like V5 who are in dangerous position can actually catch up. So Suning, it's every win counts. That was the, I think, memeable quote that I should have brought up, but this game one is a great start to that fact.
Now, here's where me and you guess who we think will get MVP. I'll let you start.
Oh, do you reckon it's going to be SofM?
I think it'll be SofM. My guess is SofM. I think SofM definitely deserves it. It didn't put off massive damage numbers, but he completely took Rogue Warriors out of this game. Again, after the like 6-minute mark, it looked rough. You can see just by how little options Haro had that it's like, man, I can't do anything other than gank top in this scenario. So definitely would be deserved. Who knows? Maybe they give it to Huanfeng because of damage numbers, but SofM having a great performance.
It was a huge jungle difference, Lyric. It seemed to be lagging there. I don't know if what I said about Rogue Warriors has come back and they're targeting you to try and ruin your internet, but
I definitely did disconnect for a second.
That's okay. Hey,
but we're back now.
Daggertron's with us, you know? Daggertron's with us. Maybe he's disconnecting you. We're always going to have one.
If Daggertron can't be on cast, he has to be here in our hearts.
That's true.
And it better be spamming robots in chat.
No. Only one person on this team gets a robot, and that is the Daggertron. So we are going towards another game too, where like things are looking one-sided again. Draft, so on and so forth. I will say I'm excited to see what Rogue Warriors pull out of the hat for game 2. I don't want to see something standard. Pull out something else that puts Haro on emphasis, and things like the Elise we saw banned away. He had a lot of priority bans against him. I'd expect to see, you know, one of them fall through and Haro goes, well, I'm going to try and carry this again, whether it's his Graves or his Elise. That went like, what was it, 16-2 in spring or summer of last year. So there's definitely the potential. Look, I'm going to throw it a break. When we return, see what Rogue Warriors have up their sleeves for game number 2.